I have died and now I have landed in heaven. And I have good news. You guys are welcome to come with me. So I have decided that I will try my best to share one video in terms of success and crystallizing material and worldly abundance as an enlightened being or as a liberated consciousness. And two, I'm going to share insights into allowing yourself to become emptier, to realize the I amness, your true nature, your the non-beingness with all of life. So if you haven't watched already, watch the first video I created today. You guys created with me because actually the audience just speaks back to itself. And that one is from the manifestation of the earthly plane and your ability to co-create the reality of your preference, aka being rich as fuck. So I'm gonna pin it there on the top. And now I'm gonna talk about nothing and everything, and how you are also that. So, a really good analogy that you could perhaps understand is that when you talk to someone, seeming someone, whatever interaction and transmission is happening in the moment is to serve liberation. It's never what's being spoken. It is what from mind to eye and mind's eye to mind's eye has been agreed upon before the incarnation to have an exchange of frequency. So the other being has a karmic matrix that has a specific coding that is facilitating the next level of lessons of that scene, of that interaction. So imagine it as you are the director, producer, and scriptwriter of your favorite movie, and you have chosen the perfect characters to play that scene with you because you know that if the particular one being there cracks the code in whatever body that is in that scene, then the next level of expansion opens, the next portal opens, the floor appears, showing you what is the next holographic experience that the field needs to mirror back at you for you to expand in your soul's evolution. So I'm using really high level terms, yet I'm not for everybody. Imagine that the Lillian Nicole brand is a Cybertruck. So when you're here receiving my transmissions, you have the ability to move at the speed of light. It's like a cellular regeneration, a nervous system calibration, a surgery. Your bloodstream changes to get angel wings so you can quantum leap into the reality that it's actually yummy and juicy. So the opposite of that is if you're not in the Nikki train or the Nikki Cybertruck, imagine just being in the era where there was even no cars and your vehicle, your body is this carriage that has no wheels and has to be pulled forward by four horses, and you're still really slow and you barely get there. Yet when you're in the Ilianical experience, it's a whole experience, uh, then you get to be on the Cybertruck, which drives itself, knows exactly where to go. It goes at the speed of light, love, and you're just relaxed, kind of like lay down, watching the movie of your life unfold, and it's all beautiful and blissful, and yeah. So, and basically, by tuning into this and being in containers with me, you have the capacity to bridge the gap from where you're at now and the experience of timelessness, the experience of complete happiness, the experience of actual joy. Yeah. Okay, so back to the I amness. Whenever there's an expression, whenever a seeming person is saying, is having a conversation, never tune into what the being is saying. Feel the frequency behind the expression. Feel the vibrations, the magnetic waves that come out of every single aura. And whatever expression that has arisen from that moment of co-creation, it's exactly the merge of those fields together into a third entity in the quantum field to create a seeming experience. So it's whole holographic. And the more you anchor this realization, the field melts and it's really malleable. So everything becomes a particle of love light, sprinkles here, sprinkles there. Basically, in a good metaphor, it's like you fart and a rainbow. It's like you fart rainbows. It's like when you shit, like you shit rainbows. Like when you cry rainbows. Everything is like sugar. I have honey here. Yum. So when I look at this, I can see the particles of the honey dripping on the thing. Like if I have a telescope and I can zoom in into like 8,000, how you call it, pixels of reality in the most epic plasma projector TV. Because the deeper you go in your self-realization, you are like a VR console. So your eyes don't, your brain doesn't have thoughts. So if your face is empty and your eyes are just a projector of light and you have no thought forms, you have no sense of separate self, the only thing that you see is the light shine through. So imagine a telescope, but it's inside of your head and it has infinite light and it's like, and it's like you're flying. Or another metaphor can be like you have a jetpack. Like when you're in the Nikki Cybertruck, Nicole containers, divergent sage, you have a jetpack. So wherever you want to go, we just place the coordinates, you fly like a superhero. If you don't have that, if you don't have that ability to the stretch of your cells, imagine your veins, your vessel, it's like it stretches out without contraction, so more light peers in and you can fly. What does that mean that you can fly? That your manifestation Godspeed level, it's like it's instant because there's complete emptiness. That's why like self-realization and manifestation go hand in hand because honestly, you are not manifesting anything. You're just choosing an experience. The only things that really exist, let's say things, concepts, there are no concepts, but to put something on a box, we have to create words. How shitty is that, right? Is free will, love, and light. So you have free will, you have love, and you have light. And then you have the direction of your attention. Where do I want to focus on? What do I wish to create? Am I enjoying this experience? What is the lesson from this configuration of consciousness? All your relationships, it's you getting to know yourself through that experience, through that conversation, through that being, through that person. And whatever conflict or friction or catalyst is in that relationship is the perfect configuration of atoms to get to know itself, for the universe to recalibrate into complete harmony. And that's why there is no lack. That's why true reality is infinite abundance, because it's the dance of the cosmos and nothing is lacking. If I would need a red elephant right now, there would be a red elephant in the room, but I don't need it. So I just have a halo or halo, a halo. I have some candles. I have this chair, but I don't need a red elephant. But if I really needed a red elephant, the whole field would reconfigure itself and there would be an elephant in the room because there is no lack. It's just complete unity, choosing, calling in, and then conversing with yourself. Yet everything has been a conversation with yourself. There hasn't been a moment when you haven't been talking to yourself. And when you really learn the lesson from that mirror of you, it disappears. So the beings that are the closest to you, let's say your birth mother, your birth father, your sisters, your brothers, the being you chose to marry, your kids, the people in your company, they're all the closest to your consciousness from where you left off your past life. So in this incarnation, you chose those mirrors to have a fun experience. So why am I telling you this? Because do you want to suffer? I don't think you want to suffer. Nobody wants to suffer. So this is the end of suffering. This is the end of seeking. This is realizing non-duality, the non-separation of the field. And it's like you are completely surrendered in a warm blanket of infinity, and you have that jetpack, and God's taking you, and you're like, Godspeed. You're just like going. And wherever you meet that next level of fear of that separate self going to die and disappear because it will, you just accept it. That's the way to transcend it. You accept it. Oh, but the next fear shows up. Next layer. The moment you don't resist the fear, it disappears. The harder thing is getting there. So you have to place yourself, your small self, in situations that are gonna on purpose arise fears in you so you can face the next level of the thing that you didn't want to see and then drop deeper into the unity. And then you're part of the river. It's the infinite flow. It's like your body becomes melting water and you merge with the ocean, and then there's just one being. And then whenever you see another seeming other, you know it's you in that body. It's like, oh, there goes me, there goes me, there goes me. And it's all you. So how would you relate to yourself? How would you speak to yourself? How would you experience this holographic nothingness from the complete realization of safety and peace that You are it. You are it. What am I? Whatever you're looking at. So I am you right now? Yeah, because there's no you. There's just this. There's just that. There's just this. There's just that. Oh, there's just this. There's just that. Oh, but if I look at this, then I'm that? Yes, then you're that. And if I cease to look at it, does it exist? No, because it's out of your field of experiencing. Infinite eyes. Imagine a billion eyes in this ball, like a disco ball. And you get to choose which perspective you wish to experience the world in. And if you're tired of that movie, then ask yourself, what are the lessons that I'm experiencing from these catalysts of these mirrors that I'm not really enjoying? Because you can drop that scene, you can sign out of that movie and then create a new one. Yet to experience yourself in creator consciousness, you need to have learned the lessons of separation, learn the lessons of person consciousness, learn the lessons of victimhood, learn the lessons of shame and guilt and betrayal and darkness and horror and all of that until you're like, oh, this is a lifetime in which I realize my infinite nature as every other self, as me, as an infinite being that co-creates the whole universe, called God. Oh, wow. Heart. Grandiose, omnipresent dream. It's nothing special. It's not like the angels come down and then you get an actual halo. It's just like, oh, okay. I go to the supermarket to get some milk and then I buy some socks. And who is doing that? It's just happening to who? To no one for no reason at all. It's just that. Really. Okay, I'm gonna get a coffee now. Are you really? Or coffee is just getting itself towards you? Nothing's happening. But it's not an excuse to then be lazy and do nothing. But at the same time, you're not doing it because doing this happiness out of itself. It happens of happiness out of the reason that you exist and the worthiness and the value and the pleasure of your own existence. And then your heart calling. Referring back to the video I made this morning about finding your calling and then expressing yourself as that and expanding in your soul's evolution because at some point when you deepen your realization you can get bored of that old oneness like oh okay oneness okay now I realize I'm like everybody else there's no separation I'm not having fights awful experiences harsh reflections there's no middleman there's no critic there's no voice there's no shame oh fuck what now then you become the best at what your soul's blueprint shows to incarnate for. And why do you mean the best? Because we're all the best. Because there's no hierarchy. Because we're all one being. We're all one being. Different faces, same being. Monkey gods. Deep, bro, right? Fucking deep.